welcome to Capacity Middle East. I am joined by Philippe Millet from i3Forum, and you are the founder and chair. And we're also joined by Christian Michaud, vice chair. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Thanks for having us.
Good. So, first of all, can you tell us a little bit more about what i3Forum is all about?
Sure. So i3Forum, first off, stands for International IP Interconnection. Lots of people ask, where the name comes from. And it's an organization that is 15 years old, that was created in the middle of the transition from TDM to IP, so something fairly technical. But it's mostly now a platform where carriers and aggregators and the international wholesale industry can actually collaborate and come up with solutions to challenges that none of us can address on our own. So that's what we do.
And what's the value of i3Forum to its members, and how do you bring value to the industry?
Yeah, I think the most important value that we have is that we bring pragmatic solution to the market. So there's the industry is facing a number of challenges, and by bringing solution on an ongoing basis to those problems, we're really helping the industry to move forward. And I'm going to give a few examples. We have topics around anti-fraud activities. So there was a lot of fraud in voice. We did a lot of work, became de facto the fraud expert in voice. We have other topics like numbering plan community. There's the benchmarking tools that we provide. So there's a lot of activity that the carrier can actually use and integrate in their own process to bring value to their business and generate more business or prevent from the risk of the business. So
to build on what Christian just said, I think in this organization, there's no staff. It's a not-for-profit. There's no staff. It's a very lightweight organization. The work is done by the members. So it's the people who have a problem that are actually coming up with the solutions. So like you said, it's really pragmatic, actionable, and that has a lot of value in the industry.
And so what's new at i3Forum? I know there's been an exciting announcement today with some interesting initiatives that you guys are spearheading.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, like Christian was mentioning. But I think our latest, most interesting initiative is what we call the Restore Trust Initiative, which actually got public support today from GSMA and GLF. Thank you very much for that. There was a press release reached this morning, very interesting. So Restore Trust is about fixing this issue we all have, you and I, with spamming, spoofing. We're not picking up the phone when we don't know who's calling. That's a huge problem for you, but for businesses, legitimate calls don't get picked up. It's a big issue. So the regulators in every country step in and try to come up with, requirements to try and combat those illegal, unwanted calls. And they do a good job nationally, but they also try to address those calls that are coming or messages that are coming from abroad. And this is where it gets really complicated for them. They have little authority outside of their country. They don't work with each other very much. They're not very much used to that. And it's creating a problem for the industry because we are facing maybe 150 different requirements, and they're not suggestions. They're actual requirements, and they're penalty like a fines and stuff like that. So we thought, okay, this is not working. It's not even really efficient in terms of actually fighting those calls we don't want or messages. So what we're doing with this Restore Trust initiative, we're trying to bring together the entire industry in a new organization that is going to be like not-for-profit. We are spearheading the effort, but it's not going to be an i3Forum organization. We call it one consortium for the international industry. And in parallel, we're building trying to build a global forum for the regulators to have those multilateral discussions and then engage with the industry in a structured manner so we can bring about the solution that will actually work, but that are harmonized across the industry. So that's the big news these days.
And leveraging on that, there's more stuff that I think it's worth mentioning, specifically in the collaboration with the GLF. This morning, we also announced the new code of conduct for voice, against voice fraud. And so we had all the signatories coming in and signing, which is a big statement from the industry that we're supporting this code of conduct. We also made a lot of progress on the messaging side to produce elements that are similar to a code of conduct with key principles that the industry needs to follow. So we've been working very closely with the GLF, but also with other organizations that are applying and going in the same direction with a lot of success, because ultimately the objective is to bring solution for the carriers now and not in 5 years, right? It needs to be actionable now. So.
What was the driving factor behind the initiative then? Was it something that the members had raised with you, or was it just you identified the issue within the industry?
A bit of both. This issue has been growing for a while, and we actually have been working on bits and pieces of it without actually knowing whether there are going to be tools in the toolbox. And the i3Forum is driven by a board of about 12 people, which is actually a working group at a senior level. And in the discussions we were having there, it became very clear that the situation we're in was not going to get any better on its own, and we needed to take action, and this is where the concept was born. i3Forum is membership driven, really, so it's coming from the members who are the people who have the problem.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's how it works.
So you've got an awful lot on your plate, and as you say, you're a kind of light touch organisation. How do you manage to get everything done?
Yeah, well, like Philippe just said, we're membership driven, and membership is the people contributing to the work of the i3Forum. We don't have any staff, so it's basically the work groups, the members. We have over 100 people from different members that are contributing to the work of the i3Forum. So everything that is done by the members that have the knowledge, that lives the problem, and come to the table with how to solve, how they can see the industry coming together and solving this, because they cannot solve it on their own, but by coming together, they sit down, they discuss, they put the problem on the table and find solutions that are effective and applicable for the problem they're facing. So.
And on top of that, we have, like I said, this very active board, like 12 people. I don't know how they find the time to contribute because they all have very busy day jobs, but that is really the leadership of the i3Forum. We also have an advisory council with 4 people that are, maybe not as closely related to the industry. I mean, they are in the industry, but they're not like in carriers and stuff, but they'll help us with a lot of insights and advice on how to go about it. And like I said, we're working very closely with the GLF, Christian mentioned that, with the GSMA more and more, and other organizations like the GSC, the Global Solutions Council. They also work on, we all have our specialized area, but it all comes together very nicely. So that's what makes it possible. I mean, it's not just Christian and I, of course.
And obviously lots of very passionate people about the initiatives and the causes that you're working on.
Yes,
that's the secret, passion. Yeah, because Christian and I are doing this on a voluntary basis, so it's driven by passion.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's passion.
Well, thank you very much for joining us at Capacity Middle East. We very much appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Nadine.
Nadine.
Very much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.